WWE must do this with Alexa Bliss, or at least consider doing it. And in this video, I'm going to break down what that is and why I think a lot of you are going to agree with me. Alexa Bliss, obviously returning at the Women's Royal Rumble last month in January, making a big splash. Her first WWE appearance, her first WWE match in over 2 years. She took time off, and then she got pregnant, and then she took maternity leave, and then there was contract disputes and all the likes, and we can get into that. But if you look at what's going forward, what is next for Alexa Bliss? Well, it's the Women's Elimination Chamber match. It's a massive, massive match. She's going to go up against some of the best that WWE has to offer in its women's division across Raw and SmackDown. Some who's in this business and some up-and-coming talent as well. I'm talking about your Liv Morgans, your Bianca Belairs, your Bayley, your Naomi, and your Roxanne Perez. Think about the caliber of talent that WWE has booked in this match, all of which are former WWE champions. Roxanne Perez, former NXT champion. Bayley, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, they've all held the women's world title or women's championship. Right now, we have Bianca Belair and Naomi as your women's tag team champions, right? And I think Alexa Bliss, who has only worked one match as a recording of this video since returning, winning a qualifying match, and going on to Elimination Chamber, which is the last pit stop. It is the last marker before we get to WrestleMania, right? And I don't think people give this enough credit, but it's like Royal Rumble sets the scene for WrestleMania. It sets its two top matches. Obviously, Charlotte Flair winning the Women's World, the Royal Rumble, and going on to challenge Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania 41. We have Jey Uso. He won the Men's Royal Rumble match last, eliminating John Cena, and now he's going to go on to WrestleMania 41 and challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. Now we have Elimination Chamber. Most likely John Cena is going to win the Men's Elimination Chamber, go on to challenge Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. And now we have the Women's match, where the winner of this bout will go on to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. It's a massive event with massive stakes. And for all of these women, outside of maybe a Liv Morgan or a Naomi or even a Roxanne Perez, I think you can just put those talents aside. You don't really give them much of a shot. I can't see them giving Perez a title shot right out of the gate. I can't see Naomi not feuding with Jade Cargill, who I think will be revealed as Jade's mystery attacker. Liv Morgan obviously just feud with Rhea, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so it really leaves, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, and Bayley. Now, Bianca Belair, I know a lot of people think that she could win it. I could see Bayley winning it. She's just recently over from Monday Night Raw. But in my opinion, I think a strong case can be made for Alexa Bliss to win the Elimination Chamber and challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title. I think WWE really, really should consider doing this with Alexa Bliss, and I'll tell you why. I think it is a pivotal moment in Alexa Bliss's WWE tenure right now. I think from the minute that she returned at the Royal Rumble, she was a big deal. She obviously won a qualifying match. Now she's in the Elimination Chamber. What is WWE telling you? She's a big star. She returned at the Royal Rumble. They made it a point to say all these reports online were wrong, even though they weren't, and that she is right back to where she was. Because if you think about it, before she took time off, the last match she had was a title match. I think it was against Bianca Belair. It was at Royal Rumble. It tells you that Alexa Bliss is a big deal, that you should care about Alexa Bliss. And obviously the reaction in which she got at the Royal Rumble, and obviously the reactions in which she gets every single time she's on television, tells you Alexa Bliss is a big star and you should take her seriously. So if WWE's presentation of Alexa Bliss is that you should take her seriously, and the fans' reaction to Alexa Bliss is that you should take her seriously and that she's a big star and she gets a massive pop, then why wouldn't you have a discussion and a serious conversation that she goes and wins the Elimination Chamber? She goes to WrestleMania 41 and challenges Rhea Ripley. You also would get fresh blood into the main event scene because she's been gone for so long. And I think if you look at it like this, a match between Rhea and Alexa, that's new That's a fresh matchup, right? And especially on a WrestleMania level, that's massive. That's massive for Rhea. That's massive for Alexa. The only interesting dynamic would be two things. One, and really the challenge. One, Alexa Bliss just was switched to SmackDown. So you would have to move her from SmackDown to Raw, which is not necessarily a huge deal considering that she never showed up on Monday Night Raw after her return. So it's not a huge deal, but something you'll have to kind of change your booking around. And number two, you would have the babyface versus babyface dynamic, unless you turned Alexa heel, which I don't think they're going to do, because she obviously came back with a new Lily doll, and those things sell like crazy for the company. You're not going to turn Rhea into a heel. She's your top babyface female star. She's one of your top babyface stars in the entire company. In fact, she's just one of your biggest stars in general. So I can't necessarily see them, wanting to make her a heel. Plus, 2023, that was her long heel run as champion. Now she's on her what will likely be a pretty decent run as women's champion as a babyface. Obviously, she's going to make it to Mania. So, January, February, March, April. And realistically, and I don't think people are necessarily giving enough credit to this as well, like I think realistically, you can make the argument that Rhea Ripley should have a long women's world title run past WrestleMania where she retains the championship and then she goes on. Because if you think about it, the fans were robbed of a long babyface run for Rhea as world champion because she got injured in the backstage segment with Liv Morgan coming out of WrestleMania. So we'll see. And here's another thing. You got to keep this in mind. If Alexa Bliss does not win the Elimination Chamber, it's not necessarily all doom and gloom for her, considering that, okay, she's a babyface, she's on SmackDown, and Chelsea Green has the United States Championship, and she's a heel, right? Like, that would be a fun feud as well. The over-the-top, characteristics that Chelsea Green can bring to television against someone like Alexa Bliss, that would be fun. Like, I can see that. And you know what? Maybe the Women's United States Championship is a better fit for Alexa at this point, right? Maybe you don't want to have her win the Elimination Chamber and then just go and lose to Rhea. Maybe they have big plans for Alexa on Friday Night SmackDown. We don't know. I'm just curious how they get there. And I think the Elimination Chamber is going to be a really, really good match. It could easily steal the show. There's a lot of talent in here. Some of the best workers that WWE has in its women's division are in this match. So we will see how everything shakes out. We will see who goes over and when they go over. And if Alexa Bliss is the one that does,